Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jamie Fenn, and today I'm super pumped to show you guys this car badge animation effect in Davinci Resolve. Yes, you can do it in the free version, and I've also included the download link for the footage so you guys can follow along in this tutorial. Also, one of the assets that you'll need is on a website that I use all the time called Envato Elements. You can sign up for a free 7-day trial, download as many Resolve assets as you want, and use them forever. Although I highly do suggest doing a monthly or even an annual subscription just because I know you will end up using it for longer than 7 days. So once you've downloaded the assets, let's get started. Big shout out to my buddy Patrick for sending me this footage to do the tutorial. Follow him on Instagram. And with that said, let's get started. So here I have the clip that is available for link down in the description. And the first thing you want to do is duplicate it. Go ahead and drag that on top of the clip so it's identical. Then scroll to the point where you want to have the badge effect start. If you're using your own footage and you stabilize it, you'll want to make a compound clip before you do this next step. So then come up here to where it says clip, select freeze frame. Let's go ahead and click anywhere outside of our timeline and push M on our keyboard to make a marker on our timeline. Then highlight both of those clips, right click, select new Fusion clip, then go into Fusion. So let's go ahead and move the merge node over. We're going to put the media into up here because that's our freeze frame. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that our playhead is exactly where our freeze frame is. So come up here to the spline, scroll over to the left or the right, and find the marker that we placed in our timeline. Let's go ahead and come over here to 45. Now what you want to do is select the media in 2. Let's just go ahead and rename this real quick so we know what it is. Freeze. So then with the freeze frame selected, we want to select the ellipse tool. Let's go ahead, come in here and refine this down so it's right over the center of the Mercedes symbol. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to zoom in, make sure that it's over. You can adjust the sides like that. I'm going to view the freeze frame by clicking and dragging it up to the viewer window. I'm going to come over here to the right-hand side under the inspector, turn up the soft edge just a tiny amount. Next, with the ellipse tool selected, I'm going to come up here to the polygon tool and select it. Now, I'm going to mask out this part of the car badge. Then what you can do is actually highlight all of the points where you want to have a curve, and then come up here and select the curve adjustment. Now it won't be perfect, but you can get an idea for how you want the curve to look. Then what you want to do is come over here to the paint mode and select subtract. Then once you've done that, you want to select another polygon mask, come in and do the other section. Make sure to round those out. And come over here to the paint mode and select subtract. And then repeat this again for the bottom section. Once you have the logo masked out, you want to drag the media out into the main viewer so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to drag all of these nodes up, and then I'm going to actually add a transform node after this freeze node. So let's go ahead and add a transform by pushing Shift and then space bar on our keyboard, and then selecting transform. Since we're still on the same exact frame of where our freeze frame starts, what we want to do is keyframe the size, move forward a little bit in our timeline. Let's turn the size up, go a little bit further in our timeline, keyframe again, and then now we're going to keyframe where we want the logo to kind of go back into itself on the car. So let's go ahead and set one last keyframe. Let's also adjust the size back down. So the next thing you need to do is keyframe the center X and Y. So let's go ahead and push this over. I'm going to zoom in and just kind of align this up how it should look right about there. Then come to the very beginning, since we already keyframed the center X and Y. Come up here to the inspector, enter 0.5 for the center X, and 0.5 for the Y. Okay, so now let's go to the middle where this is actually really coming out pretty far. And I'm actually going to adjust the emblem so it's kind of over itself like that, using the center X and Y adjustments. Okay, now what we can do is come up here to our spline, find the transform icon over here on the left. Go ahead and click on this little square so we can see all the adjustments. So then what I'm going to do is make sure I turn off the center path, select all the zoom points, and push F on my keyboard to round them out and make it look nice and smooth. Turn off the spline. Let's come here to the merge node, select it, and we come to the very beginning of our effect, which is frame 45. I want to come up here to the settings, select the blend mode keyframe. I'm going to go one keyframe left on my keyboard and turn this off. So now the blend mode of the effect of the emblem will be turned on right at 45. So then what you'll want to do is zoom in and see where the end of the animation is going to happen with the car badge. So now we have to blend the end of this. So we want to go to about 107. I'm selecting the keyframe. I'm going to go about 4 frames forward and turn the blend mode down all the way. So now we have this nice blend when it comes back. Come back to the beginning of your animation, which is frame 45 for me. I'm going to select media in 1. Then I'm going to hold down shift and press spacebar and type in displace. Select the displace node. Then click anywhere in your node graph, hold down shift and press spacebar, and let's add fast noise. Connect that to your displace node. Then with the fast noise node selected, select the ellipse tool. Select the multi-viewer up here and drag the fast noise into this viewer on the left. With the ellipse tool selected, go ahead and turn off the solid over here in the inspector. Turn up the border width, and then turn up the soft edge. Then right-click on width, select expression, then drag this little plus sign and connect it to height. Then right-click on height and select modify with anim curves. Select the modifiers. So then come down to the time offset, and let's go ahead and turn this up forward until over on the left we don't see anything in the viewer. All right, so let's go ahead and close out this window like so by just making one big viewer. Then come back over here to the tools in the inspector and come down here to where it says center X and Y, and we want to keyframe this position of the shockwave as it's going through the video. Let's go ahead and move a few frames forward, and let's just keep making sure that this is in the center. So go drag a few more frames forward, keep this in the middle of the emblem, drag it forward, keep it there, and just keep it centered on the Mercedes logo. Now, if you really want to make a really crazy adjustment for the shockwave, what you can do is come down here to the displace node and turn up the refraction strength, just a tiny amount. And now, boom. Now this emblem is kind of bugging me how it's not centered with the car. So I'm just going to come back here to the transform and just kind of make sure that it kind of stays in the middle. Great. Okay, so then let's move these nodes over here like so. Select the media in 1, hold down shift and press spacebar and type in merge. Then click anywhere in the node viewer. Let's add a background node. Connect the background node to the merge node. With the merge node selected, select the ellipse tool. Let's go ahead and adjust the ellipse tool down to the center of the car badge. I'm going to go to the very beginning of our animation here. So at 45 is where we have it starting. I'm going to zoom in. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just generally in this area. Now with the ellipse mask selected, come up here and select the keyframe for the level and the center X and Y. Let's go ahead and turn the level all the way down. Then let's go a few frames forward and turn it all the way up. We also want to make sure that the ellipse mask is centered on the Mercedes emblem underneath this layer here the entire time. So in order to do that, you want to just scroll a few frames forward, move the ellipse over the car badge, and then continue to move through your timeline, moving the black ellipse over the logo. Okay, so then when you get to the end of the animation, what you'll want to do is come up here to the level, select the keyframe, a few frames before the actual emblem gets blended into the car, and then go a few frames forward to the point where the animation stops, and go ahead and turn the level all the way down. So now we have this nice blend of that dark ellipse in the background. Next thing you can do is come up here to the soft edge, turn this up a little bit, and then turn up the border width as well. That way it covers the original emblem, and now we have this nice looking smooth transition of the car emblem coming off of the car. Now you want to highlight these nodes, move them over. Then what you want to do is select this merge node and add a new merge node. Now, when you've made your account on Envato, you can come up here to stock video, select motion graphics, and type in shockwave. You can download any effect that you would want here in any color. It doesn't matter. We can use the color or the black and white. So feel free to check out some of these shockwave packs here. These top 3 are awesome. So once you've downloaded those, come in here to your media pool, go ahead and drag them in here, or you can even drag them into your actual node graph. I'm going to drag this one in here. I'm going to come to frame 45, connect the media into that merge node. With the media into selected, I want to make sure I put in my global in and out points correctly. So up here where it says 0, I want to type in 45, then click anywhere. Then down here where the trim is, you want to go ahead and extend this out all the way. Next, add an invert node. So hold down Shift and press spacebar, type in invert. Then select invert color. Select the merge node, come up here to the apply mode, and I'm going to select multiply. Under the invert color, I'm going to hold down Shift and press spacebar, type in transform, and select a transform node. Center up this to the logo like before. Select the keyframe for the center X and Y, and I'm going to move forward through this entire thing, just keeping this centered somewhere where that black ellipse is in the background. Now, something I want to do as well is add a color corrector node in between the transform and the merge here. So I'm going to type in color, scroll down to color corrector, push enter, and I'm going to turn the saturation down on this clip all the way. So it's just this black kind of like misty kind of thing. It kind of fits the aesthetic of the vehicle. I don't want any crazy colors. All right, so the shockwave is a little slow. So I'm going to come back here to our displace node, our fast noise, and our ellipse where that effect is happening. Select the ellipse 2, and then come up here to the modifiers. And what we want to do is come up here to the time scale. And we're going to turn it up to about 2.5. Okay, next what you want to do is come to the end of our timeline. Let's go ahead and select the merge node, copy that over. You can add that in multiple different ways. Then select anywhere here in the node graph, hold down Shift and press spacebar and type in Proto. This is also a free plugin. Link is down in the description. I used this on my previous video. It's badass, so definitely check it out. Let's go ahead and connect the transform of the freeze frame to the Proto effect node. Go ahead and scroll to the beginning. And what we want to do is come down here on the right-hand side under the inspector. There's a million different controls. I'm not going to be able to go over all of them today, but the main one you want to focus on right now is this pre-colorization drop-down menu, and there's a gain option. Go ahead and turn that all the way down. Keyframe it. Then scroll to the point of where the car badge actually pops fully off of the car, or wherever you want to have the effect of this proto effect happening, and then turn up the gain. And I'm going to turn it up to about 0.66. Then I'm going to scroll a little bit further, keyframe again, and then kind of come back to the point where the car animation is pretty much fully done, and then turn the gain back down. And that is how to do the car badge animation effect. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And my media is offline for some reason.